Let us take another look at the Willowgate scandal, a scandal that made a high-ranking government official took his own life just to avoid shame. Remember, this is not your regular politician. This is a liberation hero who has played a vital role in the country's independence. But this scandal pushed him to the point of taking his own life just like that. So what really happened, and was it worth his life? It all started in the late 1980s. Zimbabwe have a very big problem. Cars were scarce. The country do not import cars in full. They rather import it by parts and have it assembled in the country through the willowvale motor industry. That is not even the problem. The problem was that the demand is several times higher than the supply. Like vehicles were really scarce. Like back then, if you wanted the car, you don't just walk to a shop, point to the ones you need, and pay for it and drive it away. You rather pay a big deposit and start waiting for months, years, and even up to 3 years. Just to get a call that your car is ready. Imagine paying for a car today and getting it in 2028. That is how bad it was. People have to start going to the neighboring countries to buy cars, and sometimes it will even break down before they get into the country. But however, if you are a government minister or someone in power, things were totally different. The rules was that government officials can get cars faster in order to aid government work. So as a government official, you can skip the long line, buy a car, and have it delivered to you as soon as possible. This was how things were going until one day, a check meant for a government official missed its way and ended up in the wrong hands by mistake. A member of the parliament got hold of the check, take a look at it, and something did not smell nice. He later sent it to a newspaper editor named Geoffrey Nyarota and his deputy for further investigation. The interesting part was that even before this check, this man has been smelling something already. And now with the check, they have more reasons to start digging. They got a big shovel and started excavation. They collected car papers, checked vehicle numbers, traced them, and it led them back to the ministers. And what they found shocked the whole country. Do you know that these ministers, after purchasing these cars, will resell it, even triple the amount they bought it from the company, and sometimes more? They can even resell it as fast as that very day it got to them. So you see, this was a huge business but a very shady one, which seemed to have become normal until these men uncovered it. So the newspaper started publishing stories, and as you can guess, people were so agitated, like really angry. The whole nation was talking. The government officials dominated the purchase of cars from the company. Cars they won't drive but resell at triple the amount they bought it. So President Robert Mugabe had no other choice but to act. He set up what is now known as the Sandura Commission. The hearings were shown on TV. People watched as big names in the government were called on one by one to answer questions, and by the end, several ministers resigned. One of the names mentioned was Maurice Nyagumbo. He was not just any regular politician, he was a liberation hero, a man who spent almost 20 years in prison fighting for the independence of Zimbabwe. He even wrote a book titled With the People, as in, he was really respected. But when the Willowgate scandal touched him, his world fell apart. He was accused of lying under oath about how many cars he has sold. The shame was unbearable for him. A few days later, he was reported to have used pesticide to open the gate where he joined his ancestors. I understand that he must have regretted or felt penitent, but it is quite very sad that a man who fought for freedom could not fight the weight of public disgrace. The scandal shook Zimbabwe, so much so that the journalists who exposed it were removed from their jobs. Maurice Nyagumbo's death was a tragedy, but it didn't have to happen. He made mistakes, and we all do. If you fail, stand up, tell the truth, make things right. That is part of integrity. One lesson you should learn from this story is that integrity is cheaper than scandals. The moment you start cutting corners, it is only a matter of time before those corners cut you back. So choose honesty, choose transparency. When you err, own up. Own up. Own up to it by making things right. This is because power can fade, money can also fade, but your name stays. And you want it clean, right? This is Anthony Precious, and I implore you to stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. Cheers.